Get the fastest internet available in North Central Washington by switching to LocalTel and get speeds up to 1,000 meg. Call 888-8888 today or go online to localtel.net.
It's time for NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. The latest from the Wenatchee Valley and North Central Washington with Steve Hare, Grant Olson, and sports with Eric Granstrom.
Good Wednesday evening and welcome to NCW Life News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window where we saw a gorgeous day today. Taking a look down at the Old Station area and the Columbia River in the Wenatchee Valley. Beautiful light clouds out there and blue sky today with temperatures in the lower to mid 40s. But today an in-between weather day because by tomorrow we will see another series of storm systems moving into north central Washington. Really not a lot of snow expected in the Wenatchee area, although we will see a rain-snow mix here in town tomorrow. Waterville could see up to 3 inches of snow, and once again, most of the heavier snow will remain west of us. Stevens Pass could see 3 to 4 inches, and we'll talk more about this next storm system moving in a little bit later on. And for those watching on our Facebook, tune in to LocalTel Channel 12 or Charter Channel 19, or you can stream us live at ncwlife.com for the full evening newscast tonight. And now the few of the stories we're following for you tonight. Chelan County PUD removes hazardous trees in Cashmere. Trail users are directed on a detour on the Loop Trail, and Governor Inslee starts interviewing candidates for 2 judge positions in Chelan County. But first, we begin tonight. At last night's regularly scheduled meeting, the Wenatchee School Board welcomed 3 new members, Michelle Sandberg, Sarah Knox, and Sunny Hemphill. The new board members then took the oath of office administered by Chelan County Superior Court Judge Leslie Allen.
Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Sarah Knox,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Washington,
and the Constitution of the State of Washington,
and will faithfully discharge the duties
and will faithfully discharge the duties
of Director of Wenatchee School District number 246.
Of Director of Wenatchee School District number 246.
Chelan County, State of Washington.
Chelan County, State of Washington.
To the best of my ability.
To the best of my ability.
There you go. We got a whole lot of things to sign.
The 3 new board members ran on a joint platform of positive change, hoping to usher in transparency, collaboration, and setting high standards. In other news, new shoreline regulations are being drafted in Chelan County in accordance with requirements set forth in the State Growth Management Act. But commissioners say existing property owners shouldn't be overly concerned about the use of their waterfront homes.
There are provisions within that to be legally non-conforming, and so it doesn't mean that someone has to go in and tear down what they have. In a few cases, there may be some restrictions that if they want to rebuild and build a home that's twice as large as the one that they have, there will be some restrictions if they are within that area.
Commissioners have been conducting a series of public meetings to discuss a wide variety of shoreline issues, including marinas and live-aboard houseboats. We'll have more on this topic coming up later in our NCW Life Evening News feature story. Cashmere area motorists are being made aware of hazardous tree removal projects scheduled to start today. The Chelan County PUD is working with the city to remove 18 of 57 Norway spruce trees along Evergreen Drive due to threats to power and fiber optic lines in that area. Chelan PUD Forestry Operations Manager Bill Sanborn says many of the 60 to 80 foot tall trees are leaning precariously and need to be removed before a storm brings them down. The work was scheduled to start today and continue for several days. Evergreen Drive will remain closed to the general public. Test drilling or potholing by a contractor for the city of Wenatchee will require closing a section of the Apple Capitol Loop Trail from Holly Street north to the Wenatchee River pedestrian bridge during the next 2 days. Trail users can detour through the Huron Natural Area. Bicyclists are reminded to walk their wheels in the natural area or bypass the closed section of the trail on the street. The contractor plans to work along the edge of the trail pavement from 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. The contractor hopes to finish early tomorrow. Coming up, Governor Inslee starts interviewing candidates for 2 judge positions in Chelan County. Moses Lake Police investigate a drive-by shooting, and Sage Hills Trails will close this Friday. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching NCW Life News.
Having a relationship with your pediatrician is so important. Feeling that sense of trust, that is priceless. I tell everybody about CBCH. I love it there. When I make an appointment, I don't have to take an entire day off. As a working mom, my life is really busy. Family time is everything. That's what we all work towards. And I feel like CBCH respects that.
Hi, I'm Blair from Works, your workout prescription. Have you ever started an exercise program and then struggled to keep it going? So what if I told you that with this MyZone device, I could increase your chances of self-motivated exercise adherence by over 200%. Combine that with an exercise prescription specifically for your level of readiness, we'll increase it even more. And that's our new member success system. It's $99, it's exclusively at Works. It includes your MyZone belt. Works, yourworkoutrx.com.
When it comes to tough, versatile workhorses, nothing compares to Kubota's full line of RTV Series utility vehicles. Engineered to last and designed to deliver, Kubota's RTV X Series doesn't just lead the way on rugged dependability, it leads the pack. From big jobs to small projects and daily chores. Choose from America's top-selling family of diesel utility vehicles to help you do it all.
The Kubota dealer in North Central Washington is Valley Tractor and Equipment in the Baker Flats Industrial Park, East Wenatchee.
Welcome back. Governor Jay Inslee is slated to start interviewing candidates for 2 soon-to-be vacated judge positions on the Chelan County Superior Court. Judge Alicia Nakata retires in January, with Judge T.W. Chip Small retiring in February. The Chelan-Douglas County Bar Association has forwarded to the governor the names of 2 local attorneys who were rated as highly qualified to serve on the bench. Travis Brandt and Kristen Ferreira outpolled several other attorneys in a survey of Bar Association membership. Brandt currently serves as president of the Bar Association. The governor will also consider applications submitted to his office from other local attorneys. To be eligible for appointment, candidates must be a member of the Washington State Bar Association. A house that Moses Lake Police describe as well-known was riddled with bullets in a drive-by shooting early this morning. Shortly after 1 a.m., a house on North Buell Drive was shot and hit by several pistol-caliber bullets. The shots appear to have come from a vehicle that fled the scene prior to law enforcement arrival. The house where the shooting took place is well known to Moses Lake law enforcement, as are the adult occupants of that residence. Those same adult occupants were not helpful in providing possible suspect information, nor a possible motive for the shooting. There were several adults as well as small children in the house. No one was injured. Surveillance video of the shooting was obtained and is being reviewed by Moses Lake Police. This Friday, December 1st, the Sage Hills Trails will close to hikers and mountain bikers to provide winter habitat for mule deer. The seasonal closure affects all lands owned by the Chelan PUD and the Chelan-Douglas Land Trust, which encompasses the area between No. 1 Canyon and Horse Lake Road. PUD wildlife officials say because of the early season snowfall, mule deer are already seeking cover and forage. The PUD owns about 960 acres in the heart of the Sage Hills and manages the area as a wildlife preserve as required by its federal license to operate Rock Island Dam. The Chelan-Douglas Land Trust supports the area closure by closing public access to the Sage Hills Trail system at area trailheads. Plans are to reopen the Sage Hills Trails to hikers and bicyclists on or close to April 1st of 2018 if habitat conditions allow. You're watching NCW Life News. Coming up next, your sports update, followed by today's feature story. That and much more still to come on NCW Life News. Stay with us.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
Lake Chelan mailboxes find solutions and the best price for all your shipping needs, including UPS, FedEx, and the U.S. Postal Service. We offer a variety of services including quality copies of all sizes, faxing, scanning, sending and receiving email, laminating, and notarizing. Enjoy browsing through our large selection of greeting cards. Lake Chelan Mailboxes supports our military, fire victims, and our community.
See us at the Plaza in Chelan for all your holiday needs.
Hey, this is Justin at Club Crow Bar and Grill reminding you it's your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Jam sessions and live bands playing a wide range of music. If pool tables or pull tabs are more your thing, we have you covered. Enjoy the fun and food at Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Stop on by today.
And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life channel.
And a happy Wednesday on the Les Schwab Prep Scoreboard from last night. First in boys basketball action, Cascade traveled to Quincy and picked up a 55-51 victory. At Eastmont, the host Wildcats fell to the Cashmere Bulldogs 63-52 as Cashmere had 4 players in double figures. Turning our attention to the girls' side of the ledger last night on the Prep Scoreboard from Les Schwab. After going 0-20 a season ago, Cascade enjoyed the sweet feel of victory and its opener at Quincy, downing the Jackrabbits 60-40 behind 18 points and 10 rebounds of Becca Francis. The defending state runner-up Cashmere Bulldogs had no trouble with its opener on the road in Ellensburg, winning 73-29. Haley Van Lith picked up right where she left off, 25 points, 9 assists, 5 steals. Eastmont began its season on a winning note at Southridge, downing the Suns 46-33 as Emily Dufour led the way with 13 points for the Lady Cats. In girls bowling yesterday at Eastmont Lanes, Eastmont and Wenatchee remained undefeated as the Wildcats downed Davis 4-0, while the Panthers stopped Ellensburg 4-0. Kyla Hankins was the bright spot for the day for Wenatchee, bowling a game-high 247. I've never bowled that high in my life. One item on the prep schedule for today, Chelan wrestlers getting things ready for the season. They'll be along with some other CTL teams in Okanagan tonight for the Bulldogs Jamboree. Men's college basketball last night, Noah Dickerson scored 24 points in 24 minutes, and Sam Timmons added 13 points as Washington defeated Kennesaw State 85-71. Coming up tonight, number 15 Gonzaga hosts the University of Incarnate Word, the Cardinals, a Division I school from San Antonio, Texas, out of the Southland Conference. Well, as it turns out, the Wenatchee Valley Rams football team is not done. At the conclusion of last season, coach and owner Mickey White announced the organization was closing its doors after 14 seasons of play in various semi-pro leagues, highlighted by a national championship in 2015. White, with wife Susanna and 6-month-old son Cassius, will be featured on next week's Let's Learn program with yours truly. He admits, well, he wanted to be done before last season.
In fact, we weren't going to have a team last year, and some guys was like, come on, coach, one more. So we threw a team together, and I'm happy we did. It didn't turn out the way it's been years prior. But anyway, long story short, guys were, come on, coach, let's do it again. And okay, we did one last year. Then this year, thought we were completely done. There's some tears coming down everybody's face at the last game, and got a call, I don't even think it was a week later, coach, we're going to keep this going. I said, guys, I can't anymore. My wife and I, we just can't. They're like, no, don't worry about it. We just want you to coach.
So the Rams are alive and well and already preparing for another season of spring and summer football in the Wenatchee Valley.
I got a phone call from a guy that normally played defensive end for us, Andy Jones. He's been with us, I think, 7 seasons. And like I mentioned before, I'm pretty sure it wasn't a full week had gone by when the season was over. He called and said, Coach, we're going to keep this sucker going. And I kind of, well, we'll see. And not even another week went by, and he said, what do I need to do to keep it going? So Suzanne and I met with him a little bit and told him, and he went out and got 10 other board members and off we're running. And I was telling you during the break that the neat thing to me is, and this kind of shows true to Coach Preston's Ram family philosophy that we've carried on, is the main owner's not even from Wenatchee. You know, he believes in the Ram family and loves us so much. He had his own team called the Blues Thunder for, I believe, 7 seasons.
Right.
And came on board with us 2 years ago and just fell in love. He travels from Pullman every week to play with the Rams.
More on that next week. That's Sports News. I'm Eric Granstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. And now for tonight's features story. If you plan to develop lands located near any streams, rivers, or lakes in Chelan County, you will be impacted by new shoreline restrictions. The new regulations are being drafted by Chelan County Commissioners Doug England, Kevin Overbay, and Keith Gaynor, who sat down with NCW Life News earlier this week to discuss the process.
I think that everybody would be impacted in one way or another. Realistically, the major impacts are going to be on your landowners. But, you know, it also comes down to recreational opportunities and identifying those areas, you know, and access to water. And so, you know, indirectly, folks could be impacted. But it's one of those things that we have an opportunity to craft a shoreline management plan that, you know, basically realistically portrays Chelan County and what Chelan County residents come to expect from their shorelines, you know, within reason, of course, within RCW and within WAC. And so we have an opportunity here to provide ample opportunity for folks to make comment on that, but to craft something that is going to be probably a 20-year plan, you know, before it's going to be looked at again. I mean, there'll be some tweaks, but realistically to stand the test of time.
Is existing development already there on the shoreline? Are developers and homeowners really nervous right now? I mean, are they going to go, my house is going to be out of compliance now, or any sort of grandfather clause on these things when it's all said and done? I mean, for the folks who have a cabin on the lake that might all of a sudden be out of compliance now, if that gets that.
Well, there are provisions within that to be legally non-conforming, and so it doesn't mean that someone has to go in and tear down what they have. In a few cases, there may be some restrictions that if they want to rebuild and build a home that's twice as large as the one that they have, there will be some restrictions if they are within that area. But we've actually have reduced the buffers down to a workable margin, we feel. We still have to get those approved, but we've, within the 200 feet of a shoreline, there are restrictions that they will have to follow. And so there are regulations that we feel that we've tweaked in a way that will make them more usable but still protect the resource. And as Kevin indicated, that resource belongs not only to the landowners that are right there, but to the rest of the people of the county that want access to those same lakes and shores that everyone has been enjoying in the past.
The people who are private landowners that abut water that are going to be affected most by this, they're good stewards of the land for the most part, are they not? I'm just spitballing here, but yeah.
They are, and I think one thing that we have is a history of, we've had a shoreline management plan in place. We've been able to look at how that has worked, and that's had some bearing on what we're doing with our update. And as Doug mentioned, there is a little more flexibility in some cases, but those who are there now, really, I don't know that they should have any concern really for where their homes are or what they've done to date.
Commissioners are scheduled to reconvene their public hearing on the proposed shoreline rules at their December 11th meeting. We'll be back in just a moment with a recap of some of today's stories and your complete local weather forecast right after this.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. A chill is in the air and it's a perfect time for some old-fashioned comfort food like our amazing Eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, French dips, soups made from scratch, or fruit pies fresh from the oven. The crowds might be gone, but we're still here for you folks. So bring an appetite and a friend to Blueberry Hills in Manson, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 to 3. wildaboutberries.com.
Honey, I got the space heater.
Make sure you survive winter. Call Central Washington Heating and Air before it's too late. This winter, don't get shocked by the cold. Call Central Washington Heating and Air today.
Time now for a recap of some of our top stories. At last night's regularly scheduled meeting, the Wenatchee School Board welcomed 3 new members, Michelle Sandberg, Sarah Knox, and Sunny Hemphill. The new board members then took the oath of office administered by Chelan County Superior Court Judge Leslie Allen.
If you'll repeat after me, I state your name.
I, Sarah Knox,
Do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Washington,
and the Constitution of the State of Washington,
and will faithfully discharge the duties
and will faithfully discharge the duties
of Director of Wenatchee School District number 246.
Of Director of Wenatchee School District number 246.
Chelan County, State of Washington.
Chelan County, State of Washington.
To the best of my ability.
To the best of my ability.
There you go. We've got a whole lot of things to sign.
The 3 new board members ran on a joint platform of positive change, hoping to usher in transparency, collaboration, and setting high standards. Cashmere area motorists are being made aware of a hazardous tree removal project scheduled to start today. The Chelan County PUD is working with the city to remove 18 of 57 Norway spruce trees along Evergreen Drive due to threats to power and fiber optic lines in the area. Chelan PUD Forestry Operations Manager Bill Sanborn says many of the 60 to 80 foot tall trees are leaning precariously and need to be removed before a storm brings them down. The work was scheduled to start today and continue for several days. Evergreen Drive will remain closed to the general public. This Friday, December 1st, the Sage Hills Trails will close to hikers and mountain bikers to provide winter habitat for mule deer. The seasonal closure affects all lands owned by the Chelan PUD and the Chelan Douglas Land Trust, which encompasses the area between No. 1 Canyon and Horse Lake Road. PUD wildlife officials say because of the early season snowfall, mule deer are already seeking cover and forage. The PUD owns about 960 acres in the heart of the Sage Hills and manages the area as a wildlife preserve as required by its federal license to operate Rock Island Dam. The Chelan Douglas Land Trust supports the area closure by closing public access to the Sage Hills Trail system at area trailheads. Plans are to reopen the Sage Hill trails to hikers and bicyclists on or close to April 1st of 2018 if habitat conditions allow. And now your weather forecast for north central Washington. But once again, before we get to that, let's take another peek outside our weather window, looking down at the old station area and the Columbia River on this beautiful fall November day. We're almost out of days in November now in the Wenatchee area. We saw some high clouds out there, but mainly sunshine and temperatures above where we should be for this time of year. 39 to 40 is about our normal high. We topped off in the lower to mid 40s around most of the Wenatchee Valley today. What we're seeing, drier and sunnier weather temporarily moved into the inland northwest today as a weak area of high pressure builds over the area. The ridge will give way to yet another front for Thursday and Thursday night. And looking at our satellite loop, this system will bring widespread precipitation to almost all of the Pacific Northwest. However, significant rain and snow really is not expected out of this system. As we take a look at that loop, look at those two atmospheric rivers of moisture moving into the U.S., one down in Southern California, the other poised right through north central Washington and western British Columbia. That will continue to feed us with more rain. We have about a 40% chance of a rain-snow mix tomorrow, and then a 20 to 30% chance of showers both Friday and Friday night, with about a 40% chance of mainly rain on Saturday. The weather pattern will remain active Friday and through Saturday, with more rain and mountain snow expected again, as I mentioned, Saturday and maybe even into early Sunday. A period of dry, cool, and sunny weather on Sunday and into early next week replaces the wet, unsettled weather pattern we've seen over the past month or so. Temperature-wise, we'll be seasonal with highs in the mid-30s to around 40 degrees. Let's take a look at that forecast now, and tonight we'll drop down to a fairly mild low of 33 degrees. 39, your high temperature for Thursday. As I mentioned, a rain-snow mix, a definite possibility during the day Thursday. For Friday, maybe some lingering showers into Friday night. 41, your high Friday. Then once again, about a 40% chance for showers on Saturday, with temperatures only at 39 degrees before the sun comes back out for us on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesdays. Highs then in the upper 30s to lower 40s, and lows dropping down into the mid to upper 20s. And closing out the news tonight, it could be a scene taken right out of a James Bond movie as two men with aerospace glider suits jump into a flying plane.
Ok, vous pouvez voler sur moi. Ok, j'ai contact avec le fil. Contact avec le fil, c'est bon. Et go for entry, go for entry. Ok, on est en approche. Et vite, il se rapproche. Et bien bas, assez loin. Voilà, il se rapproche. Okay, we've got one ready for the second one. Yes! Yes! Oh my God, how old are you?
Wow. If you have a video of the day you'd like to see on NCW Life News, message us on our Facebook page at the NCW Life channel. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. Also, tune in tomorrow morning to NCW Life for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz and News with Steve Hare. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
This has been NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. For more news, log on to ncwlife.com, like us on Facebook, and follow NCW Life channel on Twitter.
Travel enhances your life in every way. Let the travel professionals at Journey Travel and Tours help you plan that dream vacation. Don't leave the important details to those nameless, faceless online agencies. At Journey Travel and Tours, our goal is to build relationships that last a lifetime. And when you do need help, we have a 24-hour helpline that is routed to one of the agents in our office. When you think travel, think Journey Travel and Tours. It's where your journey begins. Like us on Facebook, and you could be one of our monthly winners.
Weekly. For the newest tech, coolest tech, and the craziest tech stories available on the interwebs, tune in for your weekly tech update right here on the NCW Life channel.
Thursday night, hockey night on the NCW Life channel. It all begins at 7 o'clock.